Hello, hello. Welcome to Fab Friday with Spiegel Mom Scraps. We are going to make some fun mixed media background today. So this is a cut file. It's from the cut shop. It's called Blank Canvas. So I planned it out on my silhouette and I cut it in white. And now I'm going to place a white cardstock behind it and I'm going to use it as a stencil. So for me, the best way that I've discovered to do this technique is to get a little bit of washi tape and tape my paper to my craft mat. And then when you put this is brand new pasties from the Spiegel Mom Scraps shop. It's from Shimmers. And it's the color called Tree Hugger. And it matches the brand new Chamel Little by Little collection, which is what we're going to use a little bit of today. So what I did was I'm starting on the outside of these splotches and I'm working in. You can see that here really well. So I'm starting at the bottom of this one that looks drippy, and I'm pushing the paste up and into the cut file. I find that this works the best, especially with cut files like this that have little bits and pieces. Start on the outside before the cut file starts and push the pasties in towards the middle of the cuts. And they turned out really nice. Here's the big reveal. Now I wanted to add a little bit more splatters to this, and my camera was being really shifty this video, I don't know why. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, which is See You in the Morning. Oh, this is my son. He took my palette knife and he washed it, and he was so proud of himself, and he's telling you, hey, look, he's obsessed with YouTube. Anyway, so I'm taking these, this is See You in the Morning's colorings, and I'm just splashing it around my layout to help create those splatters and some backgrounds. And now I'm going to set this cardstock aside. And while it dries, I'm showing you here the products I've chosen from the Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop, and I'm also using some flair from Accent Scrapbooking. We did a product swap with them, and she has the most beautiful flair. I will link her Etsy store below because it's super, super cute. She has some lovely, lovely flair, and you'll see more of it because I just ordered a bunch more. So I'm going through this 6x6 pad from Chamel Lane's new line, little by little, and I just chose a couple of papers that I liked, and I'm going to cut them in half so that they are 3 by 6 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of layer them all together. And what's kind of interesting about this layout is that most of this layout, I kind of ended up doing it in 2 pieces because my background wasn't dry yet. I set it off. You can see it there on the side to dry, and then I'm kind of working here, and I end up really liking where this goes and how I do this. So you'll see here, these are all the different die cuts from the Little by Little collection, and I'm just clustering them all together. These are photos of my son painting. He loves to paint. He really, really enjoys it, and it's very much his hobby. It's hard to get photos of him doing it though. He's not really like one to smile for the camera, although he just got a brand new easel, and he did let me photograph him with his brand new easel. So that page will be coming up soon as well. So I'm just trying to decide which one of these flares that I want. I end up using them both, but I kind of fidget with them a lot. I cut a lot of this part out because I was just fidgeting. Do I want the blue? Do I want the pink? Do I want the blue? Do I want the pink? It's like I went into like indecision city. But I settled on the pink because it does contrast a little bit more with the blue camera. And then I'm going to put the blue one up there after I add a little bit more embellishments for underneath it. So I'm kind of thinking about my tree huggers, and I want to make sure that I get some of these dark teal puffy stickers in, and I want to make sure that I use these buttons to bring in the bright, bright pink, because those colors aren't really in the too much in the items I've picked so far. So I'm just kind of looking at this and deciding what I want to do. I cover up the top part of this little banner with these adorable little, they look like typewriter keys kind of, a font that's in the Little by Little sticker book, and I'm just kind of scooching stuff over to make it work. originally that die cut said something about "you are my favorite work of art," I think, something like that. And I just wanted it to say Logan's work of art because this is actually about him painting and creating this picture. And I liked it better to say that too. And I really, really liked how that pop of black brings to the layout. So this is kind of a sad day because those are my last 2 felt cloud stickers, or felty clouds, unless I have some stashed away somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure those are my last 2. I go through them a little fast. And now I'm taking a photograph of this because I'm thinking that I'll take a photograph and then I'll try to like reassemble it onto the page when the pasties dries. But I kind of get cold feet on that, and you'll see that in a second. So originally, now the pasties are dry. You can see they dry matte and they dry a little darker. So there's no shimmer to them. They dry this really pretty matte, but they dry really nice and they don't warp. Like, I used a lot of these pasties and they did not warp my page. Just a teensy tiny, teeny tiny little bit. But really not at all. I was so, so happy with the way that they dried and the way that they worked. So now I decided that, you know what, I wasn't going to take this all apart and try to reassemble it on the page. I am going to glue it all together as one big piece, and then go ahead and glue that one big piece onto my background because I really liked how the layers were. I liked where it was going. I kind of have had this layout planned a little bit in my head before I started, so when I was mapping out my silhouette cuts on my silhouette, I kind of knew where my photos were going to go and how much room I had for them. And so I knew exactly where this was going to go in my layout. There wasn't an issue with placement. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to kind of tape runner as I go and kind of glue this all together so that I don't mess it up. Even though I took a picture, I still kind of felt like I was going to mess it up because in times past I've done that little photograph thing and nope. So as a last little touch here, I am going to put some black thread underneath these flare badges. I love the pops of black that are in this collection, and I really, really like the black because it's pulling in, you know, the colors from the picture. And I love just that contrast. So I go ahead and decide that I'm going to trim off. I just did 1/4 of an inch from each side of my background, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it to some black cardstock to give it a black frame. I am just loving the contrast of black and white on my pages these days. I don't know. I think it's a phase. It'll probably disappear in a little bit, but for now, it's fun and I like it, so I'm going with it. I'm going to start to glue this down and run out of tape runner, so now I'm going to come, after I refilled my tape runner, I'm just pushing it down. And again, this didn't warp badly, but I just wanted to smooth it and stretch it out just a little bit onto this background. And I'm going to give it a little more adhesive up in that corner. And so now you can see I'm going to take that second piece and glue it down, and our layout is pretty much finished. I'm just going to add some lovely bits and pieces and sequins. So as you can see, it fit because I had like kind of mapped it out on my silhouette. I really was able to get it to fit really, really well. I was so proud when I put it down, and it was like perfect. I had done it just the way I had done it in my head, which, you know, never happens. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Black Muji pen and get my journaling together. And then we're going to work on our little clusters. I'm going to grab 3 of these little wooden buttons, and I'm going to grab some sequins and just create a couple of small kind of fun clusters. I wanted to put a little cluster up into my background to kind of make everything cohesive and so that it made sense, so that everything kind of matched up and made sense. So I'm fidgeting. I'm going to fidget with this camera for a long time. I don't know. I think I tried to stick it to every possible spot I could try to stick it on this layout, and it was ridiculous. I don't know why I was having such trouble with this camera, but I was moving it like everywhere. And now you can see it's not even on the page. It comes back, but I don't know what I was doing with that. So now I'm taking these sequins. These are Sweet Pea sequins from the Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop. They're a new release, and they were designed to match this Little by Little collection, and they do a fabulous job of doing that. So I just kind of sprinkled them all over my layout in different spots, and I made sure a lot of the purple ones were sticking, and so some purple ones I took out and replaced it with some of the green or some of the pink to get a really nice mix of colors. And of course, I got rid of that big black button. At first, I thought it looked kind of striking up there, but the more I looked at it, the more I was like, nope, that's not working. So I just went ahead and grabbed a lighter pink button. And so now I have the two cameras and the two buttons kind of creating a little triangle there. And now comes the part where I glue down all the sequins. Oh, and cover my naked tags because I can't stand naked tags. But I didn't want like thread or anything like that, so I just grabbed two teeny tiny gray enamel dots, filled the holes, and called that good. So now I'm going to tediously glue down one at a time each of these sequins. And no, I don't make you watch that. And so now all the sequins are down, and I'm just going to give it one little look. I also added some of my very favorite sequins from the shop, which are Moonshine Delight. I love them. They're clear. They match everything. And that will complete this layout. Thank you so much for joining me today for Fab Friday, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!